Okay, so another experiment we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the density of a substance. So density is the comparison between how much stuff is in an object and how much space that object takes up. So the density of every sample of something should be the same at room temperature. Temperature does change the density of objects. And we're going to really talk about soap today. So we're going to take a plain bar of Ivory soap, which I have here. You can find this probably on Amazon. I ordered it off of Target. It was ridiculously cheap for the number of bars, and then we'll just use it afterwards. And what you can do with it is it actually has a ton of air in it, and so that makes it really have a low density. So what that means is there's a lot of air in the soap. We're actually going to put it in the microwave and play with it a little bit. One note is I would not continuously heat it, because you're actually going to be allowing the air to escape, and then at that point you don't have any more air in there. It's just the soap, which if you heat something enough it could cause a reaction or a fire or just a really huge mess that would be hard to clean up. So you guys have seen this in a lot of different ways. If you have toys in a pool or in a bathtub that are floating, those are floating partially because they're less dense than water. So a lot of times they'll have air in them, and gases don't have a lot of density to them typically. So what they do is because the molecules are less packed together, they actually float on top of water. But if something is more packed together, it actually sink in water. And there are tons of cool experiments you can do on density. So I'm going to go ahead and put the soap in for about a minute, and I'll show you what happens. So this was actually only for about 30 seconds, and you can see my soap is now much different. So all these really fun fluffy layers you can actually go and crunch and play with. They're just a little bit warm right now. If you're leaving it in for more than that, I would definitely recommend to let it cool a little bit, or just be careful. And I can even, this is hot, so I wouldn't put it in for a very long time. The size of your bar will kind of change how it is, and this is totally safe to touch and play with because it's still just soap. It's just really hot soap. So you can actually see how much that expands. All that air, when you're heating it, starts escaping out of it, and you can actually crush it down into like little tiny pieces. You could probably even make some new shapes with this. So once again, I wouldn't recommend heating it up after. If you've never tried this with marshmallows or Peeps or things like that, those are also super fun. I can actually crush most of this thing after this, because at the bar, a lot of the soap has really just come out. And if you really want to, you can still use it as soap. It totally works fine. But it's kind of a fun thing to play with and to see it change and just let all the air escape out of it. And I would just recommend that you're using Ivory, because this brand is specifically known for having this low density. If you have another kind of soap and you put it in a thing of water and it sinks, it does not have the amount of air that's trapped in there, so it would not be a good one to use. Hope you enjoyed it.